Do you crave exciting sports takes and news? Fed up with the same old boring voices you hear on the radio? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you just might be a T-Bloomaholic. Lucky for you, it's time for another episode of the T-Bloom Talk Show, the #1 sports podcast in the world. Settle in, my T-Bloomanites, because another episode starts right now. Live from T-Bloom headquarters, here's your host, T-Bloom.
Welcome back, nation! Drum roll, please. That's right, T-Bloom is back with an all-new episode of the T-Bloom Talk Show. And we're going to get right into it, folks. No Ronnie today. Little Troy's on vacation, but that doesn't mean we take a week off. It's been a while since we've last seen you. That's okay, though, guys. We all fight through adversity to get back to where we need to, and that's what we're going to do today. And that's why we're here back with another episode of the T-Bloom Talk Show. I haven't seen you since the off-season. Little bit of a long time, but that's okay. We're going to just dive into the NFL Week 11 matchups. And yeah, welcome back, guys, to the T-Bloom Talk Show. Let's get into it. Let's just go ahead and start off with this Thursday night football game. The New England Patriots taking on the New York Football Jets in a Thursday night shitfest. Here's the tale of the tape. You got the New England Patriots sitting 6-2, and the New York Jets sitting 2-7. The Jets are kind of at a point in their season to where, do they tank or do they get meaningless wins that set them back even further from the top talent from the draft? Now, when I put it like that, obviously it kind of seems like, hey, why not tank? Why not lose as many games as you can to get, obviously, the better pick of the draft? And why do teams hang on to a season that they know ultimately nothing good's going to come out of it? Even if the Jets were to win out, if they were to win every single game for the rest of the season, they would still be fighting for a playoff spot. That would put them at 10-7. They'd probably get in, given the numbers and stuff like that. But even then, I mean, what would they do with that playoff spot? So it's always an interesting time of year at this point in the season to see how these teams either go about the rest of their season. I mean, when you're sitting with a 2-7 record, you got to be thinking to next year because this season's essentially over. So I always find it really interesting to see how these teams with these bad records handle certain games of the season, handle everything from a competitive standpoint. Obviously, when you put asses in seats in a home stadium, I'm not saying the Jets play at home right now, but when you have fans paying money to come watch your team play, even if it's not a lot, can you legitimately and ethically lose on purpose and still feel good about it? I mean, there's a lot of questions that go into it. So this came up at the top of my mind. But let's take a look at the matchup. New York Football Jets, New England Patriots. Patriots, some people are saying they're the best team in the league. I wouldn't go that far. Yes, they're having a really good season. Drake May has certainly come into his own for his sophomore season this year. But I'm not going to go ahead and say that this team is the leading team in the NFL, even in the AFC. I mean, I think we all get blinded by these new teams that come out and start off really good. And I wouldn't say the new teams, but we all get blinded by these teams that weren't necessarily the best teams last year and didn't necessarily have them in the best position last year that are now competitive, have a good record like the New England Patriots do. They got their new coach, Mike Vrabel, who's obviously been 10 times better than last year's Gerard Mayo, but I still don't put this team as the top team in the NFL. Very good team for sure, but there's still a lot of questions with Drake May. I know he's been playing out of his mind so far for a majority of the season, but the questions remain on his ability to not turn the ball over. And what I mean by that is, sure, he can go up and put up these stats and these big plays and, like I said, stats, good stats, but he also has a tendency to sky the ball over the middle, to hold on to the ball too long. And the last 3 games, I know because I put money on it, Drake May's thrown an interception. And when you do that against really, really good teams in the AFC this time of year, you're going to get taken advantage of, and those mistakes tend to add up and are a lot bigger and more costly than they would be against, a bad team in the beginning of the season. Am I making sense here? But nonetheless, Patriots still a very good team. I don't see how they lose this game against the Jets. The spread is minus 13.5 for the Patriots. Even though the Jets are not having a very, very good season, we've seen in these past Thursday night football matchups, specifically the one last week between the Raiders and the Broncos, although those teams on paper are completely out of the same tier. What the fuck? Sorry, I just heard something in the T-Bloom headquarters. Interesting. Sorry about that, guys. Although, yeah, you see these two teams that are completely outside the same tier. They're in the same division, and the Broncos only were to win by 3 against the Raiders, and we thought that would be in a blowout, but not the case. And this is also another Thursday night division matchup, short week. Obviously that affects injuries from last Sunday. Our players that got injured Sunday, they don't have those extra 3 days of rest before Sunday that they would initially be playing. So rest issues, game plan issues, short week, travel, this, that, the other. I mean, there's a lot of differences that go into these Thursday night games, which I think plays ultimate factors of why we don't see teams perform the way they should or that they should on paper. So although the Patriots should pretty easily handle this one, I can see the Jets snagging this spread. I mean, division game, Jets have the ability to score the ball. Their defense still isn't that terrible. It looks like they're still fighting hard for their coach. I can see this team, I can see the Jets plus 13.5, but the Patriots will ultimately win it. 43.5 points for the over. I'm going to take the under, man. These Thursday night football matchups just seem grimy. They don't seem, high scoring very much at all. They just seem like not a chance for the over to hit. So I want to go the under 43.5. Go ahead and book that. That comes on today at 5:15 Eastern or Pacific Standard Time. Go ahead and tune in. If you don't, I wouldn't blame you. Now let's move on to the Sunday matchups. Guys, we have a shit ton of good games this week, and I'm excited to get into them. I'm excited to see who wins because a lot of these games are going to affect, I'm sure, by week 18, a lot of playoff scenarios and yeah, we got a lot of good matchups. Let me just break it down like that. First, we're going to start off with the very early game in Berlin, Germany. We got the Miami Dolphins facing off against the Washington Commanders. Both those teams 3-7. Both of them coming off two different kind of games last week. Obviously, the Dolphins upset the Buffalo Bills. No one thought that would happen. I sure didn't. I put money on the Bills, my parlay. That really fucked me. Thanks, Buffalo. But yeah, both these teams, two different sides of the story. You got the Washington Commanders who... Come on, load here, guys. What are we doing? Sorry, some technical difficulties. Washington Commanders on a 5-game losing streak. Their last game, they just lost to the Detroit Lions, 44-22. Jaden Daniels, although they have said he is not going to be going to IR and he will not be having season-ending surgery on that elbow that obviously dislocated. I don't know how that's the case, but that's what they're rolling with. Jaden Daniels will not be playing this game, but they do have Marcus Mariota, veteran, who isn't going to, bust your balls on the defensive side of the field, but he's able to make some plays and to keep your team in it for sure. Going up against the Dolphins, who Tua Tagovailoa, the starter, looks like he's coming to a little bit of a resurgence these last two games with Jalen Waddle. And offense seems to be a little bit more potent than they were earlier in the seasons. We know Mike McDaniel's still fighting for his job. I mean, both these teams are in kind of the same boat as the New York Jets. It's just kind of harder for them to let go of the season because they had such high hopes coming into the season, especially the Washington Commanders. I mean, this was a team who last year went to the NFC Championship game. So they were obviously thinking Super Bowl or bust, right? I mean, you have to. The Dolphins, on the other hand, no, they didn't have the best season last year, but the talent on this offensive side of the ball and Mike McDaniels being that brainiac on the offensive side of the ball, you would think, no, for a fact they did not see them sitting at 3-7 right now at this point in this season. Maybe even reverse that to 7-3 were their hopes. So both these teams hard to let go of this season, and they are both probably going to be fighting really tough in Berlin. We got a 2.5 point spread. Dolphins are the favorite. A 47.5 point over under. Give me the Dolphins to take this one. I think they'll cover the spread. I think the over will hit 47.5. Both these teams' defense is not necessarily playing the best football. I think the offenses, even though Jane Daniels is not going to be playing, I still think there's some spark there on the Commanders team. So we're going to take the over, but I think the Dolphins get the dub here. Mike McDaniel really, really needs to put together some wins here to keep his head coaching dreams alive in Miami. So give me the Dolphins in Berlin. Moving on, we got the Panthers versus the Falcons division matchup. The 5-5 Panthers going against the 3-6 Falcons. Guys, this is going to be a good one, man. The Panthers obviously just coming off that loss against the Saints last week. Falcons coming off that heartbreaking loss were they in Berlin? They were overseas somewhere. Heartbreaking loss against the Indianapolis Colts in OT. They need a win right here bad, guys. The Falcons, I would say, is if I were to put these two teams together, if I were to compare these two teams, I'd take the Falcons team, even though they have the worst record. They've had a few bad bounces in a couple games that I feel like just didn't go their way. I think their defense is a lot, especially their pass defense, is a lot more secure than the Carolina Panthers. But the Carolina Panthers are also pretty solid too. I mean, no one really thinks about them because of, there's just not that much pull, not much drag at the beginning of the season for them to be very good. So no one's really given them a legit shot. But this is a team who blew out the Falcons last time they played, 30-0. So they kind of have the advantage, and they are actually the dog in this one, which is interesting. But the Panthers, man, they're just so up and down. They're so wishy-washy. Bryce Young, I mean, hasn't really panned out to be the guy that they thought he's going to be. Sure, he's doing a lot better than he has his first 2 years, but still not exactly a first round, first overall pick. So, and on the other hand, you got the Falcons' Michael Penix, who's doing a lot better every game, I think. They got to get their offense to be a little bit more consistent and a lot more big plays. I mean, they got a lot of speed on that offense. And I'm not just talking about Bijan or Kyle Pitts or Drake London, but they got a guy named Darnell Mooney who gets a shit ton of targets a game, but just for some reason cannot get completion, or doesn't get a lot of targets, plays a lot of snap percentage per game, but for some reason just doesn't get a lot of football shares. And obviously I just named 3 guys that should be getting the football, but you got a whole defense keying in on those 3 guys, and then Darnell Mooney's left all alone. I just think he has a lot more talent than what they're using him. I want this Falcons offense to be more explosive, and I think they will in this game. I think they're going to beat the Panthers. I don't think they're going to cover that 3.5 point spread. Look for a really close game. Total's 41.5. Take the over on that one. I think both of these offenses are going to get rolling. The Panthers have a pretty good rushing attack, and the Falcons' rushing defense is terrible. So, with that being said, I'm going to take the Falcons still. Let's move on to the Buccaneers versus the Bills, a huge matchup in the NFL. You got Baker Mayfield going against Josh Allen. People are saying Baker Mayfield's an MVP candidate this season. Now, I don't know if that's because there's a kind of a downtrend in QB play this season. No one's really absolutely playing out of their fucking mind, besides, I guess you can call Drake May. But even Drake May, guys, let's not get too high on him just yet. He's got a lot of football to be played left. But anyway, back to the Baker Mayfield situation. He could potentially win MVP. They got a 6-3 team, or 6-3 record right now. They're 4-1 on the road. They'll be going into Buffalo this week. Let's take a look at Buffalo. Buffalo, we just talked about, coming off that loss against Miami. What the fuck's going on there? Josh Allen shouldn't be losing those kind of games. He wasn't losing those kind of games 2-3 years ago, or even last year in his MVP seasons, or his big, seasons where he was a constant MVP candidate, and he still is. He can still win it, but it just seems like maybe he's losing a step. Am I crazy? Is Josh Allen losing a little bit of a step? We all know how much he relies on his athleticism to make plays, and that, comes with an expiration date. Should we be worried about Josh Allen at all? Probably not just yet. I think he's still got some in the tank, at least for this year, probably next year. We'll see about that next year after that, though. But one interesting fact about this game, Buccaneers, like I just mentioned, 4-1 on the road. You got the Buffalo Bills, 4-1 at home. So, put those two together, you got an unstoppable force and an immovable object. Who's going to take it? Well, guys, I really think the Bucs although Baker Mayfield on paper is having a really good season and he's fun to watch because he doesn't play like your traditional QB who's going to slide every time he's running. If there's a 3rd and 11 in the second quarter, he's going to go after that first down if he's running the ball. He's going to lower his shoulder and stuff like that. And even Josh Allen on the other side, he's kind of that same way. But my point is, Baker Mayfield, as good as he's been playing this season, I don't think he's an MVP just yet. I just don't think he's good enough. He's not that big of a game changer. Is he a good quarterback? Absolutely. Has he completely revitalized and redid his whole synopsis? I don't even know what word I'm looking for. Completely reshaped his career outlook since coming from Cleveland. Absolutely, yes, he has. But I still don't think he's up there in that tier 1 of QBs. And for that reason, I'm going to go the Buffalo Bills. They have the better quarterback. They're at home. The Bucs, I think, have overperformed this year, especially with the injuries that they've had on the offensive side of the ball. So go ahead and give me the Buffalo Bills at home. They're a minus 5.5 point spread. Take that. I think the Buffalo Bills get rolling right away. We might even be looking at a 14-point win by the Buffalo Bills. They're pissed, okay? They're not happy. So keep that in mind. 47.5 point over-under. Take the over on that. We got 2 elite offenses. Some points are going to be putting up. Moving on, we got a divisional matchup, the Houston Texans versus the Tennessee Titans. We all know the Tennessee Titans coming in 1-8. Need to shut it down this season. Obviously, you got Cam Ward still in there at QB. You want him out there playing competitive. You don't want him out there saying, hey, we need to lose these games, because that just doesn't make sense. You don't want your first overall pick, QB, taking a nosedive in his rookie year. No, you want to send him out here with a complete, legitimate game plan to actually try and win some games. So they're going to be fighting, is what I'm saying. They're not going to be tanking. Although they should, but they can't because they have Cam Ward. It's just so tough for teams. Houston Texans 4-5 need every fucking win that they can get, and holy shit, did they barely scave out one last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags, just known for the last 3 years to just blow leads. I mean, we all know about that one a couple years ago in the playoffs. They were up 24-0 at half, only for the Chargers to come back, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the Texans barely survived last week. David Mills, I mean, I don't know how he did it, bringing that team back, I mean, with all the injuries they've had. But here they are, sitting 4-5. They got the Tennessee Titans division matchup. It's not going to be an easy game, I don't think. I don't see the Texans coming out and blowing this team out. I do see them winning, obviously. Checking on the injury report right now, is C.J. Stroud back? What's going on with that? And what's going on with this ESPN website, guys? I mean, I've never seen a slower website since AOL dial-up, MySpace days. I feel like I just downloaded LimeWire twice. What do we got? Dalton Schultz questionable. CJ Stroud is questionable. Is not practicing Wednesday. Neither did Dalton Schultz. So, I mean, I think they win no matter who's playing quarterback. But, yeah, go ahead and give me the Houston Texans on the road this week. The better defense. It's going to be hard for Cam Ward to put up points. So, give me the Texans minus 6.5, 37.5 point spread. Let's go ahead and take the over. That's a lot of points to not. I mean, that's not a lot of points to go over. So give me the over on that one too. Let's move on to another huge matchup. Early game. We got the Bears versus the Vikings divisional matchup. Right now, the Vikings are 1-3 at home, and the Bears are 3-2 on the road. Vikings coming off that loss against the Ravens, man, really needed that one, I would say. J.J. McCarthy looking pretty decent. I mean, looking like the guy you thought he was going to be when you drafted him last year. Very enthusiastic about his job. Very motivational, hungry. Just needs time with these receivers. I see a lot of throws. He's getting a lot of targets to Jay Jetta, which is good. You want to get your best player, a maximum amount of targets if you're a QB. It just, they're off with each other. The timing's not right. The ball placement's not necessarily they're not on the same page. And that's going to take time, right? You can't have that just happen even though over the course of a whole off season. I mean, you need in-game practice and legitimate in-game timing and the whole hoopla to get that exact perfect timing between each other. But it just hasn't clicked to the way they probably hoped at this point. Obviously, JJ had that whole stretch of being hurt, and you had Carson Wentz come in and play, so that delayed it a little bit. And on the other side, you got the Bears, Caleb Williams, who seems to be getting better every single game. And I know he's not necessarily a top 5 fucking, you must have QB just yet, but the talent is certainly still there, you must say. And he's getting better and better and better at reading the pocket, staying in the pocket, making pre-snap adjustments, and just everything it takes to be a legitimate QB in the NFL. We all know the talent's there. He's starting to piece everything around there as well. Bears versus Vikings. I mean, this is a tough one. It's a 2.5-point spread. Vikings are the favorite. Bears have been playing really good football, though. I'm going to go with the Bears on the road in this one. I think the Vikings have kind of timed out. J.J. McCarthy, he's a dog, though, but I just think the Bears are a little bit more of a complete team. Their defense, although it was a little shaky at times, I trust their defense a little bit more because the Vikings, yes, Brian Flores, he may be able to disguise his defense well and throw a lot at you, and maybe that will overwhelm Caleb Williams a little bit, but also leads to a ton of, how can I put this, big plays, people out of position. Give me the Bears on the road to beat the Vikings. Yeah, let's move on. We got the Green Bay Packers going up against the New York Football Giants. Packers, after that loss to the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday night, sit 5-3-1, and they need a win bad. And the Giants couldn't have came up on their schedule any sooner. For the Giants, biggest headline for them this week, Jameis Winston will be coming in, and he will be starting over Russell Wilson. So that's going to be an exciting game. And this is actually going to be an interesting game now that I think about it, because Jameis Winston doesn't play no shit. He can throw, we all know, 5 touchdowns or 5 picks. There's no in between with this guy. So Green Bay, although they're the 7.5-point spread, I can see the Giants coming in and maybe tearing some shit up. Now, there's not a lot of targets not a lot of legitimate targets on the Giants side of the ball offensively. Obviously, Scatterbo out for the year, Neighbors out for the year, and then you're kind of left with not really anybody besides Tracy Jr. and Devin Singletary. I think he's still on that team. Hodgins just got brought up from the practice squad, so it's going to be a tough route of victory for Jameis Winston, and the Packers absolutely need this win. Give me the Packers on the road. I think they cover the spread. The over is 41.5. I would take the under. Moving on, we got another division matchup, the Bengals versus the Steelers. Bengals coming to Pittsburgh, and man, oh man, Pittsburgh better play a lot better defense than they did the first time this matchup happened. If you guys can think back to Thursday night a couple weeks ago, Joe Flacco tore this defense a new asshole. A new asshole they did. It just couldn't be stopped. And that was coming off of, I think that he had 7 days to prepare for that when he just got traded from the Browns. I don't even think it was 7 days. And that it didn't take him that long to get acquainted with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and to absolutely tear that fucking defense up. Now he's got time. He's got more rhythm with those guys. He's got more understanding of the offense. He's got more chemistry with the whole shebang. Pittsburgh's gotta. First of all, they gotta play Jamar Chase up. They need a double Jamar Chase, but they can't be 10 yards off the ball on him. Otherwise, those quick slants, quick outs, those are going to be all fucking game. We got to get to Joe Flacco fast. We got to get to him early. We have to be pressuring him. I mean, we got to make him use his athleticism that he doesn't have. He's not going to be able to scramble out of the pocket. He's not going to be able to make these plays, extended plays. So we got to shut down his first and second option and fucking get to him at all costs. If we can do that, we should have no problem beating this team. This defense is terrible on the Bengals side. Steelers defense can be terrible at times too, but they have their moments and they have the star players to make some turnovers and to make some plays and to do enough to win this game. Aaron Rodgers coming off the worst game of his career, quite possibly, against the Chargers. He needs to fix it up. He needs to get that going. I think they turn things around. I think Pittsburgh takes this one. They're 5.5-point favorites. Look for this to be a close game in the fourth quarter. Potentially an Aaron Rodgers comeback or a Joe Flacco pick six to end the game. Give me the Steelers at home. Moving on. Los Angeles Chargers versus the Jackie Jack Jaguars. Both these teams need it, right? Both these teams need a fucking win to keep their playoff hopes going. And I don't mean playoff hopes, but to keep them high and to keep them looking at the high seeds in the playoffs. Both these teams one loss away from being in that middle of the pack in the AFC, and you don't want that kind of shit. Chargers coming off that big win against Pittsburgh last week on Sunday Night Football. Didn't look the best, didn't need to play the best, but damn it, they got the job done, and they're sitting at 7-3 with a 3-1 away record. And in prime position to take this team all the way to where, as far as they think they can go, which has to be Super Bowl aspirations when you got a guy like Herbert. Jacksonville Jaguars, man, I mean, they just gave up an absolute layup last week against the Texans. Had this team down, I believe, 3 possessions in the fourth quarter, and somehow just gave it up. What do we got here? Sorry, guys. Jacksonville Jaguars, they just gave up a shit stain to the Texans. They need to get back on track here. I don't know if they will, man. You got Travis Hunter out for the year. Sure, they traded for Jacoby Myers, but what did he really do? Parker Washington not practicing right now. I think the Chargers come in and they get the win here. The Jacksonville Jaguars look to be on like a little bit of their last legs. But also the Jaguars can run the ball very well, and the Chargers' run defense isn't necessarily the best. You know what? Fuck it. Give me the Jaguars at home. I think they cover the spread, obviously. 43.5-point over-under. Give me the under. I think the Jaguars win. I think this rushing attack gets going. Trevor Lawrence, God forbid he throws an interception. If he throws 1, that's okay, but 2 will not do it. Give me the Jags at home. Coming up next, we got the Seahawks versus the Rams. One of the most, maybe the most interesting matchup and anticipated matchups of the week. The division opponents, Seattle going into LA. Cooper Kupp coming home for the first time. SoFi Arena. Is he going to get booed? Probably not. Not many LA Rams fans. I just feel like there's not many Los Angeles football fans. I mean, who cares about football in Los Angeles? You know? I don't know. Seahawks maintain a perfect away record, sitting at 4-0, 7-2. Rams 7-2, 3-1 at home, playing pretty good football, guys. The Seahawks, yes, we got the Sam Darnold playing pretty well, and their defense is playing pretty well, but I think they're a little bit overrated, guys. Sorry. I mean, this team, we'll see how good they do against a legitimate football team like the Rams and see how good Darnold looks against the Rams. I'm not saying he's going to look terrible or anything, but I'm saying he ain't going to be looking like that same Sam Darnold that you seen on, what was that, Monday night when they went against the Commanders? Or Sunday night when they went against the Commanders, and he just had a crazy stat line. I think 14 for 14 heading into half, 4 touchdowns, some shit like that. Sam Darnold's going to show his true colors sooner or later. This may be the game. Give me the Rams at home, minus the 3.5, 48.5-point over-under. Give me the under on that one. Next, we got the 49ers versus the Cardinals. What the fuck is this, man? Sorry. Sorry, guys. We got the 49ers versus the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals just got their ass whooped by the Seahawks. Niners need a dub in the biggest of ways. Mac Jones looks like he's just going to be the QB for the rest of the fucking season. Brock Purdy, I mean, that guy don't want to play football. He hasn't fucking shown up. Just kidding. I don't know what the situation is there. Obviously, he's probably fucking hurt. But Mac Jones looks like he's going to play football he's going to be the QB for the Niners for the rest of the year. I mean, is what it is. Cardinals, I just don't see them winning. I think it's going to be you know what? Give me the fucking Cardinals at home to beat the fucking Niners. Jacoby Brissett is not fucking happy about what just happened last week. He's a damn veteran, and the way he played last week looked like a fucking rookie. He's going to turn it around. Niners outperforming their Mac Jones attack this year. He's got way too many dubs than he needs to. Give me the fucking Cardinals at home. That's an upset right there. There you go, T-Bloom Nation. Moving on, we got another division opponent. Ravens, Browns. Ravens 4-5. Browns 2-7. 2-7. Browns in that weird situation right there. Do you tank or do you fucking try and put together a decent game plan to see if Dylan Gabriel is your guy or not? I think they kind of already came to the conclusion he's not really that guy. I don't know how other way you'd really go around it. I don't even know if the Browns can ever have a guy. I mean, how many guys have they drafted that just fucking either A, didn't do good with them and absolutely sucked, or B, needed to go to another team to be successful? Probably a whole lot. Ravens, I mean, guys, this really isn't that difficult of a answer. The Ravens are going to win this game. They need to. They on a 3-game win streak right now. Remember, they started off 2-5. Either 2-5 or 1-5. But Lamar Jackson's back. He's coming back with a vengeance. He's going to win this game in Cleveland. Book it. Another highly anticipated matchup. You got the 5-4 Chiefs going against the 8-2 Broncos. Now the Chiefs sit at 5-4. They're 1-3 on the road. They're going against the Denver Broncos, who have never lost at home. If the Chiefs lose, which actually they're the favorite in this one. If the Chiefs lose, they'll be sitting at 5-5, at 500 by week 11 in the NFL. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes has had a worse record at this point in the season. I don't think he has. Yeah, that's interesting, man. The Chiefs might be fucking looking in the playoff hunt. They might be worried about their playoff spot. We might have a really dangerous Chiefs team. I mean, if they lose this one, 5-5, fuck, that's going to be tough for them. But let's just get into the matchup. Broncos have been playing really good football, the best fourth quarter team in the league. But this is the Chiefs. They can't get off to a bad start. If the Chiefs get ahead on this one, don't look for the Broncos to be doing any magical comeback shit. Because the Chiefs, I just don't think are going to let it happen. The Chiefs really need this one bad. If they win, they'll be one game out of first place against the Broncos. You don't give me the Chiefs on the road. I'm big and high on the Broncos. You know what? No, I can't. Give me the Broncos at home. In the beginning of the season, I predicted the Broncos to be the number one team in the AFC West, and I predicted one thing as well, that they will beat the Chiefs 2 times this year. Have they played yet? Let's take a look. But I have to go the Broncos. I got to stay true to my word. I picked the Broncos to sweep the Chiefs this year, and if that's going to happen, they have to win this game. Come on, ESPN. I mean, what is it with you guys? Just an absolute shite show. Figure it out. No, they have not played the Chiefs this season. They play them now, and they play them week 15. Oh, man, then they got to play the Chargers the week after that. It's going to be an interesting end of the season for the Broncos. Yep, give me the Denver Broncos to stay undefeated at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. I just don't see any other way. I think the Chiefs are going to be sitting at 5-5, huh? All right, well, let's move on to the Sunday Night Football matchup. We got the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. The matchup that should have been the NFC Championship last year if the Lions had not shite the bed against the Commanders last season. Lions sit 6-3, Eagles sit 7-2, Eagles 3-1 at home, Lions 3-2 on the road. Lions coming off that big performance against the Commanders, getting back in the rhythm of things. Then you got the Eagles, who showed up on Monday night to beat the Packers. Wasn't their offense that did it, but their defense sure showed up. Yeah, man. Gosh, this is a tough one, and it's going to be tough for the Lions to win in Philly. I mean, that's going to be hard. Give me the Philly, man. Philly's just too tough to beat. They're just too good, dude. They just had too many ways of winning. Whether it's the defense stepping up, whether it's Saquon coming in, whether it's the tush push, whether it's AJ, Devontae. I mean, they're just so well rounded, and the Lions have some holes on their team. Give me the Eagles to win this game and to move on to 8-2. And that brings us to our Monday night football matchup, Cowboys versus the Raiders. I will be going to bed early on that one. I mean, talk about blowing a Monday night football matchup, NFL. No one wants to see this game. I don't even really want to pick the winner, but I'm going to go with the Cowboys to move to 4-5-1 and keep their playoff hopes alive. Raiders, just tank. Just tank, man. Go for that number 1, okay? Geno's not it. Brock's the guy. Genty, pretty good. But fucking no.